There we go. Okay. All right. So wanted to welcome you all and welcome anybody who's watching this later. We are recording this and we'll be sharing this on our Facebook page next week, or we'll be sharing it on International Women Build Week as part of our virtual engagement efforts with that. So what we have today is we have a fantastic panel, fantastic group of ladies. Some of whom are Habitat homeowners, some of whom are Habitat volunteers, some of whom are awesome ladies from the community. And we're excited to have a conversation tonight about Habitat for Humanity, about Women Build, and about the impact that Habitat has, and the impact that Habitat has on both those who are involved in the building and those homeowners. So what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to quickly walk through what Habitat for Humanity is in case anybody watching doesn't know. So this is in part of Habitat Lowe's International Women Build Week. This is an event that Lowe's has sponsored for a number of years. And over the last 10 or so years, they have built more than 18,000 houses, serving more than 18,000 families across the country. This year, we are fortunate here in Goldsboro-Wayne to be one of 300 Women Build affiliates across the United States, Canada, and India. So, given the fact that there are 1,400 affiliates in the United States alone, we are fortunate that we're selected to be part of this effort again this year. But the Habitat for Humanity, what is it? What is our vision? Simply, our vision is a community in which everyone has a decent place to live. And so our mission is to work with our neighbors here in Wayne County to share God's love by building homes, communities, and hope through affordable housing. Quickly again, how do we do that? We have new home construction. We have simple home repairs through our Brush with Kindness program. We have homeowner support where we hope to we prepare and support our homeowners once they are in their houses. We do financial counseling. We have a learning lab where we teach the homeowners how to maintain their homes. And of course, we have the Habitat Restore. Since 2001, we've built 85 new homes. We have recycled 8 of those homes back to new homeowners. We've repaired 25 homes sets for 118 families that we have served locally, as well as 52 families we've served abroad with our partnerships with Habitat Haiti, total of 170 families. So you can see the impact that Habitat has. And one thing that I want to make clear is that I always have to say this because we still have those misconceptions that Habitat is a giveaway program. Our goal is to partner with families as they not only help to build their home through their sweat equity and through their volunteer time on the job sites, but they also are buying the home. So the ladies you'll hear from today, the homeowners, they and their families, they have bought the homes. They not only were they on these sites helping to build these homes, hammering the nails, in some cases putting the roofs on, painting, all those sorts of things, but they also bought those homes at an affordable mortgage. So it's a true partnership between Habitat and these families. A couple things I want to sort of set the stage for the conversation. Across the nation, and part of why we do this is because we want folks to understand the importance of homeownership and the impact that homeownership has for families and the challenges that families can face through homeownership. So with Habitat International this week, with International Women Build Week, we're highlighting some of those challenges, especially that single parent headed households headed by women face. So as you can see, we have a couple stats here. Just wanted to share with you that 75% of single parent households across the nation are headed by women. And that of those female headed households, almost 31% of them have children who are below the poverty line. So you can see already the challenge that exists. Again, across the nation, 75% of public housing households are headed by women, with 80% of Section 8 households headed by women. Across the nation, only 17% of home buyers are women-headed households. And so I wanted to break this down a little bit for Wayne County to give it that little perspective. Here in Wayne County, almost 16% of all households are headed by women. Of single-parent households, 78 78% of those are headed by women. So you can see very few households are headed by women, but of those that are single parent households headed by women, almost all single parent households are headed by women. And of those, 31% are in poverty. Moving down to the subsidized rental housing, public housing, we're kind of in line with the nation. 78% of public housing households are headed by women, and 84% of Section 8 households are headed by women. So again, you can see single mothers, women-headed households in our community have a lot of challenges before them when it comes to home ownership, when it comes to taking this next step. And that's one of the reasons why Habitat exists. You know, in Wayne County, only 12.2% of home buyers are women. But check out this next stat, and this is one that I find particularly interesting, that of Habitat households, of our Habitat families at the time of closing, nearly 79% of our families, of those families that we work with, were households headed by women, single mothers, single mother households. So that makes up a large percentage, obviously, of who Habitat serves. Now, let me be clear, that is not all who Habitat serves. We have many homeowners we have several single fathers, single men homeowners. We also have families and your traditional two-parent families. And so I want to be clear that we run the gamut and the full spectrum here at Habitat Goldsboro-Wayne. But this is a significant challenge that many of our homeowners are facing. So we want to share that with you. So what do we do about that? We part of what Habitat International has is called their Cost of Home campaign. And so just real briefly, what we focus on, and this is in working with folks like our local elected officials, like Councilwoman Matthews here, who is with us today, as well as with our state officials and Habitat International, working with our national officials on these things to increase the supply and preservation of affordable housing, to focus on things like land use planning and zoning policies, to increase access to credit, and to create communities of opportunity, which really starts to dive into all those things that surround housing: quality education, healthcare, employment, et cetera. So what does all this have to do with Women Build? Women Build has been an important part of what we've done here in Goldsboro for the last 9 years. Over the 9 years we've done Women Build, we've built 12 houses and served 12 families. We've had about 360 volunteers engaged, and we have raised about $87,000 through Women Build efforts alone. So this has been a significant component into what we do. Want to share a couple of thoughts from two ladies, two Women Build homeowners that were not able to join us tonight. One, Rashawn Pratt, whose house was 2019 down in Mount Olive. She was working tonight, was not able to join us, but she wanted she wrote a little letter, and I'll paraphrase parts of it. But basically she was sharing in her letter the fact that her home has given her a sense of knowing, a sense of security, a sense of having a place of her own. And she said that she remembered that Women Build days, or that Women Build weekend, like it was yesterday, with so many women on site. I think that was one of our biggest years. We engaged nearly 100 women across those 3 days on her house. And she just spoke in her letter about the joy of having everybody on site together, the laughter that was shared, and of course, all the construction that was built as we raised the walls to her house. Second thing I want to share is that Habitat International actually interviewed a couple weeks ago one of our homeowners, Yeska. Yeska. She is again a previous homeowner, lives up in on Carriage Road area up Ash Street, and they shared a little clip of her video with us. So I want to play that now, and then we're going to kick it over to our panel for some more conversation. But I wanted y'all to hear what she had to say as well.
No sound. Stop that, Dixie.
All right. So I'm not sure how the sound came through on the video. If it didn't, I apologize. Fortunately, we had the closed captioning. We'll have that posted to our Facebook page separately, but y'all can see through her words just what that feeling was for her, what it is for, I'm sure, many of our other homeowners. So with that, I wanted to open up the floor. Really, I'm gonna kick it over to Katie, and really just have a conversation. We'd like to have a conversation, hear a conversation about what Women Build and what Habitat has meant to all of you.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. So my introduction to Habitat, the affiliate in Goldsboro, was with Women Build. I started with Daniels & Daniels in April of 2016. And so Women Build was just, I think, the next month in May. And we were working over towards the Eastern Wayne district. So we had a bunch of ladies from the office go. So that was kind of my introduction to Habitat. I got to meet some other board members, of course, the homeowners, the construction crew, and just really enjoyed my time there. Being in the construction industry, the ladies at our office don't get to be as hands-on with the construction that we do for work. So this was a cool way for us to be able to get hands-on, kind of team build, in addition to learning about other people in the community and just more about Habitat. I wasn't aware of how much involvement the homeowners actually had in the construction process. And so it was awesome to meet them and get to learn a little bit more about their goals. Another way that we've kind of connected with the ladies of the Habitat homeowner community is with our learning lab. So we partnered with Habitat a couple years ago to set up some basic how-to, basic electrical 101, plumbing, basic home maintenance skills that we teach classes on. And so like Matt's stats reflect, most of those are women. So it's cool to see them get in there, punch holes in walls, fix them, repair leaky toilets, do different things that we all kind of don't take for granted, not being homeowners. So I always enjoy my time with Habitat. On the board now for 3 years. So, you know, if anyone on here is not involved yet, I would highly recommend it. There's lots of different ways to get involved. And the community is really great. So yeah, kick it back to Matt.
All right, so, you know, whoever wants to jump in next, I don't want to have to call on somebody, but I will. Yeah, just go and hop in and homeowners, if y'all would like to share some thoughts too, we'd love to hear from you.
I'll jump in.
Thank you, Ms. Jane. Go ahead.
I'm trying to remember when I first started my dealings with Habitat, and it probably was, I know my children were in elementary school and they're in their 30s now. So that tells you how long my relationship was back. And with Habitat locally, when we moved here 25 years ago, I was looking for somewhere to plug in a little bit, and the Habitat affiliate was just restarting. It had just started its office, needing somebody to sit in the office and answer the phone. And I answered that call and was just a little office worker person. But Habitat is just a program that I really believe in. And Women Build specifically, when I was looking at the questions that you asked about our experiences, the first thing that I wrote down was fun, because number one, it was all women and all of us had our insecurities about being able to do building stuff. But it was fun and it was empowering to see a bunch of women all working together. And it was educational in that we learned stuff. And it was also satisfying from the standpoint of when you, the end of the day, especially if you were raising that wall, the power that you felt of starting the day with no walls and everybody working to nail those 2x4s together and then to physically raise that wall was just really a great feeling. And then it also, I remember leaving job sites just totally wiped out from working so hard. And in lots of cases, it was very hot. And I think I've worked on 4 or 5 of the women builds. So I've done a lot of different things. But the feeling of what the homeowners were going to get out of this and how much we tend to take for granted our housing situations, and the fact that we were literally offering that hand up to someone made it a really satisfying experience. And I've thoroughly enjoyed my time working with them.
Fantastic, thank you. And that, what you said, as you're talking, it struck me as I'm watching everybody here, looking at the screens here. Everybody is, we're all in different places, but most of us are at our houses. Most of us are in our homes, and it strikes me that one of the things that Habitat and Lowe's are really talking about over this next week or so is the fact that right now, during this COVID pandemic, that the home, having a stable place to call home, has been so important to families, and so many families haven't had that, and we've had folks who now we have families who have that stable place, and as kids are doing online learning and having rooms of their own to do their work in. Crystal, you moved into your house in what, January of?
It was actually the end of February, so it just.
See, I'm always ahead. Sorry.
Yes, so it was just a year. We just celebrated 1 year.
So you moved in right before everything
Yes.
sort of went crazy.
Yes, the schools closed down, I think, less than a month after we moved in.
So do you mind sharing a little bit of, what was it like going through that in the spring in a home of your own, and then coming back in the fall and continuing to do that virtual learning in your new home versus where you were living before?
Oh, it's a huge difference. All of the kids have their own room now, so they have their own space to be able to do it. They're not on top of each other, or they just can close the door and do their schoolwork. It makes a huge difference. Before, they were sharing rooms. So I have 4 kids total. So the girls shared a room, the boys shared a room. Do you want me to share my screen? I tried to.
No, it's fine.
It's not letting me anyways.
You're good.
So if you want, I want to just tell my whole story. So I'm a single mom of 4 kids. Been raising them by myself for years. I don't get any financial help from the absent parent. And I actually work for TA Loving, a construction company, and they are huge supporters of Habitat. And that is actually how I found out about Habitat, was through my company that I work for. And I applied with y'all, I think, 2 or 3 times. It took me 3 times to actually get approved. So that just shows that you do have to work for it. It is not a free home. You definitely work for it. And y'all have given me and my kids something that I never thought that I could have accomplished in my situation. I have an affordable house payment that I can actually afford without getting, financial support from the other parent. And all of my kids, they feel stable now. They all have their own room. They feel like, this is ours. This is our home. No one can take it from us. And it's made the world a difference. And we thank y'all for doing what you've done, and we're very grateful. But yeah, it's definitely, and then Women Build, I'm gonna go on that. So I actually did Women Build last year, and to see all these women that don't even know me, they're there helping build the walls for my house. And knocking it out too. I know Tony was upset because like we ran out of work and there was nothing else to do. And that was new. That was new to me too. I never built walls before, and it's a very good experience if you've never done it. So when all this is over and we can do it again, I would recommend anybody and everybody to come try. It's a great experience, and to know that you're doing it for someone like me, it makes a big difference too. And I thank y'all.
So thanks, Crystal, for sharing. Anybody else want to jump in and share either their experiences on a Women Build site or their experiences as a homeowner, or any questions anybody might have for each other or for me about Habitat?
I'll jump in.
Sure, go ahead.
Hey Matt, I'm Erina. I work with Daniels and Daniels, and that's how I found out about the Women's Build with Habitat for Humanity. I've helped out a few years now, and I've enjoyed it. I feel like I'm giving back to the community that I was born and raised in, and it's a lot of work. It's fun. It's getting together with the women and learning. It's a great experience giving back and learning, as Katie can attest, how to hammer those nails and get them straight. And it's a learning experience, but it's fun at the same time. I have my stepdaughter here with me, Gracie. She is ready for things to be back to normal, so she can actually experience the Women's Build. Last year, when things went crazy, she helped us with the Hammer Challenge, and
I will beat you next year. I will beat you. You're not beating me again.
she was so pumped and excited about that, but she's ready to actually have a part and have a hand in actually helping build these houses for these folks. So it's overall a great experience for all of us. I think everybody should take part in doing something for the community and giving back. So I think it's just been an awesome experience. And that's all I have.
Thank you. So a couple of other thoughts that occurred to me as I'm watching. We have Vita McNair, one of our board members on here. We have a fantastic picture of Vita last year at our Women Build event. It was one of the last in-person events we had in 2020, at least until late in the year. But I have never seen such a big smile on somebody's face as Vita had that day. On Women Build last in the, I guess, late February last year. And if you watch our Facebook page at all, you've seen it because it's such a good picture. We use it for multiple things. So Vita, your Women Build experience has been immortalized with Habitat. Speaking of construction though, and homeowners doing great. We've got two other fantastic homeowners on here who are haven't said anything yet. I'm not going to put them on the spot. I'm not going to insist that they come off their mics or come off their mute buttons. But Narema and Aslan are two of the hardest working homeowners that we've ever had out on those construction sites, pounding the nails and really just getting it done on their houses. Our construction team has so much fun working on houses, and they love working with the homeowners on these houses. And it's I hope that they both enjoyed their experiences, working with Tony and crew. But that is one of the true pleasures of Habitat is working alongside the homeowners and the volunteers, and just working as a family, as a community, to make these homes a reality for families. Anybody else want to share? Oh, I certainly don't want to dominate the conversation.
Well, since you called me out, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I was going to say, everybody's talking about how much fun it is. And you're right. I hadn't said anything because my face shows it all, that it was a fantastically fun day. It was cold. I think I had several layers. I think I had my women's Bill shirt over top of my coat. But it was, and I think at that moment, I was determined that I was going to get that nail for those 2x4s. And so it kept going in the wrong direction. Because I'm not accustomed to doing it. As someone said, I learned a lot. I really didn't know how they build a house, but it was fun. And I think that, as you said, I learned a lot, but just being with people and the spirit of camaraderie, of having to come together to do something for someone else. I think the last visit was we were hanging shingles on that same house. And I said, let me see, where's the nail? And of course, at that point, couldn't see where I had driven that nail. But it was fun to see the house progress and see the different steps in building the house. And then, of course, the most gratifying thing is the dedication. That, to me, is a spiritual experience. To know what that person has gone through, to go through the application process, to go out and finally be accepted, to put the sweat hours in, and then to participate in the actual building of their house. And then it's done. And then we come and we do the actual dedication. To me, it's like giving that house back to God. And I count myself to be somewhat of a spiritual person. So the whole process is, but to get to that final part where that house is, we cut that ribbon and that house is dedicated, and to know that I've shared in that experience with that homeowner, that's been great. So I think when you see my picture, that says it all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Aslan, were you getting ready to jump in there?
I was, and I was gonna do it for you. As much as I hate all this, but yeah. But my house, it's been 3 years. I don't know if you remember, since I got it at the middle of January, and it was a women's build, and it was fun. Like everyone coming out, and I remember a lot came out from the hospital. They were volunteers, and it was exciting and fun. And the kids got to come out. I brought my kids out one of the days, and to see all the women coming together. And Tony was mad for a second. I think he thought we were going to take over his job because we were so good at it. But, but it was fun. It was a nice experience. And just to have the kids around and, like she said, all the women coming together, it was a fun experience. It didn't even feel like, just we're hanging out, having a good time and building a house.
Sure. So yeah, it is so much fun. Like Aslan said, like Rashawn said, the days on site and Tony and now David, and the past Ethan and other site supervisors, all hang out. Try to hang out for at least most of the time, because it is a good time being out there. I've never seen anybody walk away upset from any volunteer experience, but especially the women build experiences. So like everybody said, if you haven't had a chance to come out, we definitely would invite you. If you haven't been out in several years, we invite you to come back. While I'm saying that, I'll go ahead and put a plug in. Even though we can't, as part of this International Women Build Week, even though we are not having a live event this week as part of Women Build Week, we are going to be holding a Women Build event later in April. And so typically these Women Build events, the ones that many of y'all have been part of, they are 3-day events. We have 25 to 50 people on site each day. We've had, like I said, I think the biggest we've had was 100 or so volunteers over the course of the 3 days. Excuse me, building from 8 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. There's real big events. We're pairing. Last year we didn't get to do our local Women Build event because of COVID, so we are making an effort to do it this year. We are limiting it to about 10 people on site per shift, which is, so we're cutting in less than half of what we normally would have on site, but we are going to be working hard. So that registration, be looking on our website and on our Facebook page for information about that registration in the coming days. We hope to have that up and available to folks. It is a donated event, and I say this as much as for those of you watching this on Facebook once it's posted, as I do for those of y'all actually here. This is a donation event, so we do ask for a $75 donation for that participation. And we have several great companies that we know are going to be sending folks out. Daniels and Daniels has been mentioned, of course, with 2 representatives here, TA Loving, Wooten Development, as we'll have some folks out. Goldsboro Builders, we'll send some ladies to help build with us, and I'm sure there are others. J. Smith Civil, NC Sound, those businesses that are core Habitat partners here in the community. They'll have ladies out on site. We'll have room for others who want to join us. So be on the lookout for those registrations, that information. We will have that available because it is a good time on site, and we will make sure everybody stays appropriately safe, socially distanced, etc. So anybody want to share anything else?
Have the dates in April been set?
You know, I knew somebody was going to ask me that, and as I was saying it, I was thinking to myself, the dates went out of my mind. So good question. Let me pull my calendar up. It will be 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday in April. And I tell you what, if we have an overwhelming response, because we're trying to keep everybody distanced and we're limiting that number on site, if we have a whole lot of people that want to participate and we can't accommodate them all over those 3 days, we'll look at adding another 3 days next week or later in the month, because we want to make sure folks have a chance to get involved and experience this Women Build event. Ms. Jan, thank you so much for asking that and making sure I said those dates on here. Anybody have anything else that you want to share?
I'll just say that I participated in a couple of habitat builds, first time with the University of Mount Olive. And I remember being up on the roof and putting shingles, and I'm thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing. And every time that house is not far from my house. Every time I drive by, I'm like, I helped with that roof. That is such an awesome experience. I love the bonding with the students. And then a couple of years ago, I had an opportunity for the Women's Build here in Mount Olive. When I'm the president of the Mount Olive Chamber and Kate Daniels is president of the Wayne Chamber, we did a competition, a hammering competition, which was a lot of fun. A lot of my friends from Mount Olive came out. We all helped build that day. It was an awesome experience. It was hot. Oh my God, it was so hot. I remember stopping and drinking lots of water, but it was so much fun. Like, you kind of forgot that it was hot, and being there with the homeowner and working away was just an awesome experience. And I won't ever forget that. And what a difference. And I think, Brady, you said it right, when you hand the keys over and you have that ceremony, like, you know, tears are welling up in your eyes and you just cannot believe like you were a part of this amazing experience that is going to change a family's life. And it's such a great opportunity. And for those who are tuning in, have never done it before, I highly recommend. If you can only come out for a couple hours or one day, it's an experience that you will never forget. And you are truly making a difference in many people's lives.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anybody have anything else that you want to share? Any questions, or anybody have any questions about Habitat or about the Women Build experience, how it works, or any questions for our homeowners?
I jump in.
All right, Norm, go ahead.
By the way, today is 4 years of my first nail ceremony.
Oh, wow. See, time flies. That's awesome.
Yep. Even though it took me 2 years to get the house. Yeah, I worked for 2 years. I mean, it was fun. Everything was fun with the kids. I mean, the kids work. You know, I had the teenagers at the time. And I was in a woman's build, and it was pretty fun, you know, because it's the first time that I was working with all the girls and putting those walls up and all that. But I also learned a lot from the classes, the credit classes and all the workshops I went. And I miss going back. But I love the house. And one of my boys, he's a homeowner. He's a homeowner, but not from Habitat.
Right.
So I guess me buying a house and they don't want to rent. Yeah, but we love the house.
That's awesome. Thank you. And I cannot believe it's been 4 years since your first nail ceremony. That's crazy the way time flies. This you've heard from the homeowners. You've heard from folks who have been impacted by this. Both on the end where they're working and buying the houses, but also those of you who have volunteered and been part of it. And so I hope those of you, and I'm speaking now to folks not on the call, those who are watching this recording later, I hope that you've had an opportunity to hear and experience a little bit what Habitat means, in particular, what this Women Build effort means here in Wayne County. And hope you'll consider joining us when possible, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, whether it's in the future. Come out and build with us. We'd love to have you. You've heard everybody talk about how much fun it is. Don't worry about Julie Beck not knowing what she's doing on the roof. We taught her how to put those shingles on properly, so everything is good. And we can do it, and our construction team is fantastic. And they'll do the same with anybody who comes out. So if you have experience, great. If you don't have experience, that's fine. Come and join us. Come and build with us. Come and be part of this effort. I want to be respectful of all your time. I really appreciate everybody jumping on here. Does somebody else, other than me, would somebody else like to have the last word about what Habitat has meant to them and what this Women Build experience has meant to them?
I'm not going to say that I want the last word, but this has been so exciting to sit here and learn from everyone. I have never had that experience, but I want to know is that when you all have this, is there something like an errand girl? Because I don't know if I could get on the roof or whatever, but I'd be glad to bring water and sandwiches and do whatever I can do, because this just sounds so exciting. And I do want to help in any way that I can.
Ms. Barnes, we will make sure we find something for you to do. If you will come out and join us, we'll make sure that you have something that you are that you feel comfortable doing, and we would love to have you. Anybody else? Anybody else have anything else you want to share? All right. Well, with that, then, thank you all so much. This was a shot in the dark. We've never done this before. I wasn't sure if we'd be able to get everybody on for a conversation. I'm so glad that so many of you joined us, and I'm so glad that folks are watching this recording as we post it on Facebook and share it around. But thank you all so much, and stay tuned to our Facebook page for information about our upcoming April 15th through 17th Women Build event, and more information about this Lowe's International Women Build Week this week, this March 8th through 12th. Stay tuned, because we'll have more going on this week. Katie will be, I guess by the time this airs, Katie will have. So go back in our Facebook page and find that post, that live post of Katie and her mom and grandma building that planter. There's all kinds of cool stuff going on, so just stay tuned. But thank you all so much for joining us. This has been fantastic.
Thanks
Take
for
care, everybody.
having us. Bye-bye.